Hello everybody, my name is Ryan and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, thank you so much for joining me today. This is part 2 of Does My Sister Know My Reading Taste? And in this clip, I just finished part 1 and finished recording part 1 and my thoughts for The People in the Trees, which was such a fun time. So we're kicking this video off because I want to know what I will be reading next for that video. To see if I can fit it into this month and whatnot. So that's what we're doing really quick. I'm going to do a new number generator thing and we are going to open it up right now. And maybe I'll start reading it shortly, today, tomorrow, whatever, soon. But I am so excited. I've been itching to open a new one just because The People in the Trees did take me a little bit to get into and to read. So I cannot wait. I cannot wait to see what else she picked to wrap up and what else I'm going to be reading. If you did not see part 1, I'll link it down below or like put a little thing up here to like take you there. But basically the concept of this is that my non-reader sister has picked 30 books plus a couple like bonus and extras that I can use to swap if I'm not feeling the book that I unwrap. But she picked 30 books without my knowledge of books that I own around the house in my bedroom, and she wrapped them up for me. I am using a random number generator to unwrap them and choose what I'm reading next. But basically this was to help me read books that maybe I wouldn't typically grab right away myself, but also I wanted to see if she knew my reading taste a little bit. The funny thing about this is that she had no thoughts going into this except for picking books off of like the name and the title. Whoa, I mean the cover and the title. The name and the title, yeah. And something to know about my sister going forward with this is that she's very into like gothic, dark, spooky type vibe. I don't have a lot of like thriller mystery type things on here, so I don't expect that to be unwrapped, but most of the things that she's picked I have been like, this checks out, except for The People in the Trees was totally like out of left field for me in my thoughts on what she would pick, but it's fine. The other funny part about this is that as soon as she took these books off of my shelf, I could not tell her one book that she took off of my shelf, which maybe is a problem. But it kind of makes it more fun because now I'm like, I don't even remember or have any clue what these books could be. So it just adds a little bit more to it. So I have up right now a random number generator. I put it to 1 and 30 and I am going to start a screen recording. That way you guys know I'm not cheating. And I am going to do that. Okay. Screen is being recorded and let's see what we are reading. Obviously I put it to 1 to 30 because there's 30 books and I haven't opened 1 and 30 yet, but if it lands on one that I already had pulled, I'm going to do it again until I get a number that is still available for me to unwrap. Does that make sense? Yes. Okay. 7. I know 7's there. So let's go ahead and grab 7 off of the shelf and I will be right back. We have her. We have number 7. I have no clue. My sister is also an artist, so like she did these cute little drawing things. We love that. We love that. I cannot wait. I think actually what I'm gonna do, because I did this last time because I was going house sitting for a while, so I did like I think I did 4. Did I do 4? What did I unwrap? How to Be Eaten. Yeah, I did 4. Pre-number generator things, but it was actually really helpful because then I could get the thumbnail picture with them all wrapped. So I think that's what I'm going to do before I unwrap number 7. I am going to continue to screen record for the next 3 that we have. Okay, let's see. This is so exciting. Okay, next up to read, we are generating a new number. Number 1. Number 1 is a chunker of a book. Look at how thick this is. There's number 1. Beautiful, beautiful. She wrapped this one backwards though, because this is the the pages and this is the spine. So that's quite funny. But that's number 1. So that's what I will read after number 7. Okay, let's see. Up next, we are going to pick a new number. Let's see what we're getting. 14. I think 14 might have been picked, but let me go double check. Yes, I already unwrapped number 14. So we're gonna give it another go. 13. Okay, that was interesting, but okay. I know number 13 is available. Oh, this is another big one. Oh my God. We're getting some big ones. This is so exciting. So exciting. Okay. Number 13. Oh, this is a hardcover for sure. What it is, I couldn't tell you, but I want to get to it so bad. I'm so intrigued. Okay, and the last one for this episode for this installment is number 3. Ooh la la. Ooh, this feels like another hardcover, but this one's a lot thinner, so that kind of has me intrigued. Here's number 3. Guys, why is my sister so cute? Look at like the little butterflies or flowers or whatever. Yeah, they're little flowers that she did on them. I don't know if you can see. That's so cute. Okay, well, we have our next 4. We have numbers 7, 1, 13, and 3 are the next 4 that are going to be read in this installment. Very exciting. Up first is number 7, and it does feel like a paperback, and it doesn't feel very long, but I'm very nervous now. I wasn't nervous until I'm about to open it. So I don't really know what this is gonna be. I'm a little bit scared. She's wrapped it fairly well, so that has me a little bit nervous. I'm gonna close my eyes. Oh my God, I don't know what this is about. Near the Bone by Christina Henry. This definitely checks out that this would be a book that she picked. Oh my God, I've never read a Christina Henry before. I think I have quite a couple. This looks like it's gonna be a quick read though, to be fair. And I am not going to use a bonus book, at least right now. What is this even about? I don't even know what this is about. Oh God. Okay, it says, a woman trapped on a mountain attempts... Why did I say mountain like that? Sorry, let's restart. A woman trapped on a mountain attempts to survive more than one kind of monster in a dread-inducing horror novel from the national best-selling author Christina Henry. Can we roll the clip where I just said I don't think that there's going to be any like thriller or mystery or scary books? Because this is a horror. Maddie can't remember a time before she and William lived alone on a mountain together. She must never make him upset, but when Maddie discovers the mutilated body of a fox in the woods, she realizes that they're not alone after all. There's something in the woods that wasn't there before, something that makes strange cries in the night, something with sharp teeth and claws. When 3 strangers appear on the mountaintop looking for the creature in the woods, Maddie knows their presence will anger William. Terrible things happen when William is angry. Yeah, I mean, it sounds good. I did not remember that I even owned this book. That's actually kind of wild. Holy crap. I had no clue. This does check out though. Like I said, this is very much a book my sister would pick based off of the title, Near the Bone. I shouldn't be surprised. I'm not surprised, but I'm surprised that I own this book, to be quite fair. I can't believe I literally just said that there was probably not going to be any thriller or mystery or anything like that. This does work though, because we're in October. Spooky season. Best time to read Near the Bone. Let's go. I'm actually quite hype about this, you know. I think this will be a quick read, so I'm actually quite excited about that. Oh my God. Okay, let's do this. Near the Bone. Christina Henry. That's up next. Guys. I'm here with an update for you on this video. So the first book I unwrapped was Near the Bone by Christina Henry. This was unexpected. Not unexpected in the sense of like, this definitely feels like something that my sister would have chosen for me, but unexpected because, I don't know, I kind of forgot that I owned this book. So again, it's a win, and exactly why I started this whole situation in general was to be reading books that maybe I wouldn't immediately choose off of my shelves, right? Right. So, Near the Bone is about a man and a woman, a husband and wife, who live in a cabin on the mountains, and there's a town at the bottom of the mountain. And we follow Maddie, who is the wife, our main character. She's married to William. We immediately find out that William is not a good guy. I don't know what's going on with William, but bad stuff is happening with William. William is very violent towards Maddie for any mistake that she makes. Doesn't hesitate to hurt her at all. We start the book out, Maddie's going out to clean out the snares in the woods to see if they caught anything, and she notices a dead fox, but it's all like the entire body is there, so like nothing killed it to eat it. And there's a really weird print in the snow, which she thinks may be a bear, but if it's a bear, it's a really big bear. So she goes and gets, like, cleans the snares out and comes back to William and is like, hey, there's this really weird thing that's happening out there. William proceeds to, you know, hurt her because she didn't immediately come and get him. But then they go out and he's like, we need to catch whatever this is, because if this thing is hanging around, people from town are going to try and come up to kill it themselves, and then they're going to be around our cabin area, and I don't want that to happen at all. So you start to get weird feelings about William and Maddie and the whole situation. Their dynamic is a little bit weird. It's kind of weird. He doesn't want anybody coming up to them. She's not allowed to go into town. There's certain areas that she's allowed to go to and a ton of areas that she's not allowed to go to. She must stay with him kind of at all times unless he goes like to town or something, then she has to stay in the cabin. So things are a little bit weird. So within the first chapter, I was getting vibes, and I think what's going on, I'm not 100% sure because we're having kind of flashbacks and stuff like that. But from the very first chapter, it's clear that whatever is in the woods is not an animal or a bear or something like that. There's something sketchy going on there. But then also, I do get the weird feeling that William may have stolen Maddie from town. That's the vibes I get. Not thinking it's spoiler. I mean, I got those vibes chapter 1, and I think you're supposed to get those vibes because she's having flashbacks and things of like her mom and everything like that. But it's quite brutal. Where we're at right now, we have some hunters or people from the town coming up to try and investigate, like William said they would, whatever is hunting and killing things in the woods. So I don't know. Are they going to rescue her? Is she going to rescue herself? What's going to happen? What's really out in the woods? I don't know. Overall, I'm really enjoying it. Really fast read. I just picked it up not that long ago. I think I've only read it in 2 days so far, and I'm currently reading other stuff too, so like all of my attention is not on this book right now. And I'm 100 pages in, and when I'm going slow too because I hadn't had time to update yet, and I didn't want to update when I was like done the book. So those are my feelings right now about Near the Bone. Really enjoying it. Very easy to read. Just beware that, you know, maybe look up trigger warnings if you're interested in reading this, because some things are quite graphic. But yeah, I think that the writing is super easy to read really fast. So I am curious just to see what the explanation overall is going to be, and whether the ending's going to be happy or not, because I've never read a Christina Henry before. So I don't know if she tends to, like, you know, tie everything up with a nice ribbon. I don't know if it's left open-ended. I don't know if we really even get an answer. I don't really know. So we will see. We will see. what to do now. I'll talk to you guys again once I maybe finish this book, or if something crazy happens that I just need to talk to you about. But the next time you see me, I'll probably have finished this book. So, see you then. Hey guys, Merry Christmas Eve. It is Christmas Eve today. And you know what I did last night? I finished Near the Bone by Christina Henry. I read this book in like 6 days or so. Sorry, my dogs are doing something weird. I don't really know. I read this book in like 6 days once I finally started it, because it's been a little bit. I have this problem where I'll like want to start 10 new books, and I just want to keep starting books because I want to read everything, and I want to finish them too, but then I become so like stretched thin that I'm barely reading anything. Like I'm not amounting to anything. Okay, so right now I'm trying to clear some stuff off the docket, but I finished Near the Bone. So basically, thoughts. I gave this 3 stars. I enjoyed it. It was fine. The first third of the book, I was eating this up. I was like, this may be one of my favorite thrillers type situations that I've read. Because I guess I would call it, is it a thriller? Horror? It's a horror. Yeah, that makes more sense. This may be one of my favorite horrors that I've read. That's what I was thinking in the first third of the book. And then like, I felt like it was kind of repetitive. We were being told the same thing. She's starting to remember things about her past. We're getting more information on like what's going on in the woods, but we never really get that much information on what's actually happening in the woods. And one of the main things in this, as she's remembering things of her past, is questioning like what happened to her sister, and is her sister okay? Because nobody has heard anything about her sister. But the book just ends to like her getting to safety and not ever figuring out what happened to her sister or where her sister is, or a reunion with her sister. Like, I was looking forward to that the whole time, and we just didn't get that at all. And so that kind of made me a little bit peeved, just because I was like, all we got the entire book was this girl going through brutal shit the entire time. It was just horrific. And the one thing that I thought was going to maybe give her some happiness and some peace and make everything like feel worth it was a reunion with her sister. And we didn't get that. We just got her like walking into the police station saying her name. That's it. That's literally how it ended. That's it. Anyway, overall it was okay. I'm a little bit upset, like, I don't know, we were losing everybody. Everything felt horrible. We were losing everybody except for the one person who we really needed to lose. Okay? And it ended up okay. Like, I'm sure everything's gonna be fine, but like, why? Why were some of the choices in here made? I don't really know. You never even get a clear answer on like what's actually happening in the woods. So like that kind of made me a little bit mad too, because I'm like, I get the vibe it's going. You're kind of alluded to like what's going on and left to like make a decision yourself. And with a horror, unless it's like Bunny, where it's like fantastical and like a little bit weird and oh, it like, then I'm fine with things being left up to interpretation, because the entire book is kind of a mind fuck, right? This wasn't. You knew what was happening. So like, I want you to tell me. I want it to be black and white. I want you to let me know what's going on. That's what I want from you. Okay? Okay. So that was Near the Bone. Didn't love it. Happy I read it though, because obviously I was intrigued enough to purchase it, right? And it was a really quick, easy read. So I'll probably give more Christina Henry a go. But I have like Lost Boy, so I think I'm gonna try like the fairy tale retellings as opposed to maybe just like a book from her brain. in the sense of like the entire thing is just from her brain and not playing off of something else that already exists. So I'll definitely try Lost Boy and we'll see where we go. I didn't hate this. Like I said, the writing was really quick and easy to get through, really easy to follow. So that was great. But you know what time it is? It's time to open up the next book. The next book is number 1. It's definitely a hardcover. I don't know, it doesn't really feel like there's a dust jacket on it, so that has me intrigued on what this might be. So I think it's time that we just open it. Okay, okay. Oh my god. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. This Woven Kingdom by Tahara Mafi. So I have not read Shatter Me, which is like, I believe this author's really popular series. I have it. I haven't read it. I'm very excited about this though, because I think this is the Illumicrate. Yeah, Illumicrate exclusive. No dust jacket. Just absolutely stunning on the inside. Come on now. Are you kidding? Signed. You know, we don't mess around in this house. Oh my god, what is this even about? I don't know. I'm scared, guys. Okay. Clashing empires, forbidden romance, and a long-forgotten queen destined to save her people. Wait, that's kind of a sleigh. I love, is that, it's not a bee. It looks maybe like a moth. That's all over the place. So that has me kind of intrigued on like what's going on. This does check out as something my sister would pick. I think with the insect all over it and on the edges, that is giving my sister. So I guess I'll check in when I'm like a little bit in or halfway in and have a bit of an idea on what's going on in this book. I'm excited, you know. I'm always excited to read one of my special editions because they tend to be things that I'm interested in or things that I haven't heard of that I may be interested in. There's that beautiful character art. Stunning. With a letter on the other side. So I'll probably save that to read once I'm done reading the actual book. Oh my god. I'm so pumped for this. This Woven Kingdom. That's what we're reading next. Hey guys. So I wanted to give a quick update for This Woven Kingdom. I'm about 150 pages in at this point. And so I have a little bit of an idea of what's going on. Not necessarily the whole plot, but basically we have Jin and Clay. I think Clay are like regular normal humans, and then Jin are a different kind of human that have like magical abilities. They can like turn themselves invisible and things like that, and have like crazy strength and are viewed as bad in this world. So far I would say it's just alright. The story is super easy to follow and is reading really quickly, but I have like I'm having a little bit of trouble, I think, like really falling in love with these characters. So we have Cameron, who is the prince, and then we have Eliza, who is like our main character. She is a djinn. She is also like a servant for Cameron's aunt, I believe it was. And we first have them run into each other because a young boy tries to like rob Eliza, and she stops him and then offers him bread because she's like, I know what it's like to be hungry and, you know, to do anything to be able to survive until the next day. And she leaves and tells him to like come get bread at this place, and Cameron like goes over to talk to him about it, and the kid tells him, and Cameron doesn't believe him, but he's obviously telling the truth. So it like, this whole story unravels, right? Where at first Cameron thinks that Eliza's a spy, so like he tells his best friend, who is also like his guard of sorts, and his grandfather, because his father has passed away, so his grandfather is the current king. He tells them that he thinks she's a spy and he needs to investigate more. And I think, like, my big problem here is that I love unlikable characters, but Cameron and his guard, his minister, I think they call him, were best friends growing up, and now, like, I guess they've been best friends. But, like, the chapter I just read was talking about how, like, oh, Cameron just doesn't ever ask him about anything going on in his life because they grew up together, so he feels like he knows everything. And I was just like, Cameron's just an asshole? Like, he's not nice to his best friend, even though his best friend, like, works for him. That's still your best friend who you grew up with. Why would you not ask how his day was? Like, I'm so sorry. What? And then the same thing, like, I hate insta-love. I hate it. And I'm not necessarily saying that, like, this has explicitly done that yet, because our main characters have really just interacted for the first time fully. And she has a bruise on her cheek, and he's like looking at her for the first time, and it's like, she's not just beautiful, she's stunning. Fair, right? Okay, she's beautiful. We love to see that. But then he's like, oh, he notices the bruise and, like, suddenly, like, feels like he wants to murder someone. And I'm just like, I feel like that is so extreme. Like, I get it, obviously, you know, she's been hurt. We don't want that. That's not cool. But, like, I just feel like that is such an extreme, like, thing. You don't really know what's going on. And I'm like, I'm feeling like it's gonna be, like, instant obsession and, like, oh my god, he's different with her. And I just hate that. I'm very, like, very much hoping that this turns around a little bit and maybe he has a really quick redemption and starts caring about people. But, like, he just doesn't care about anybody except for her now, it seems like. And he's going there because now they want to capture her tomorrow because, plot twist, they're like, you were right, she's a djinn and all of that stuff. And then the other thing that is confusing me but maybe bothering me as well is that djinn are bad. Everybody hates djinn. We don't like them. That's what they're telling us. But so far that, like, she's only been, like, obviously her boss is mean to her, but she has shown her face and her eyes to the prince at this point, and a guy who was giving her medicine. So I'm just confused because, like, both people who have seen her have just been totally fine. And I'm like, we're hearing about all of the mistreatment of djinn and this, that, and the other thing. And so far, every single person that she's met that has found out that she's djinn is just like, that's fine, you're beautiful. And that bothers me because I'm like, not that she necessarily needs to be mistreated. Like, that's not what I'm saying. But all we're being told is that, oh, like, I can be hanged for this, I can be hanged for that, oh, this, that, the other thing, like, everybody hates us, we can't do this, we can't do that, like, we're the most hated. But, like, where? And she has been going out with something that covers her eyes, so, like, okay, most people haven't seen her, but, like, we haven't seen anybody else getting, like, mistreated. We're just being told that it happens. And at this point, she's met 2 people already that now know it. Like, you would think that the medicine guy might, like, help her, but be like, but everybody's just been fine. So I'm just a little bit confused. Because obviously, right, like, the king and stuff, they're not gonna like her. And, okay, maybe we experience it. But I feel like we would get that at the beginning just to, like, we're being told this information and we aren't seeing it happen. I just don't love being told and not shown. Like, show me. Show me the mistreatment of them. Give me a flashback to some like horrible thing that happened. Like start the book that way. Like her grandmother or something being a djinn and being mistreated, or like show me. Because it's just not believable when so far she's met 2 people who now know this about her, and it's just been like, she's beautiful, so it's fine. When, like, that's just not the case. So, I don't really know. Hopefully everything's okay, but, like, I just don't like the instant infatuation because she's beautiful. It just makes everything that he's been taught just go out the window. I'm just like, that is just such, I don't know. Hopefully it changes. Hopefully I start to like it. Overall, this story is good. I'm flying through that. It's really easy to read and to understand what's going on. And I am very interested in the story itself and what's going on. But I will also say that at my core, I am not a romance girly. I do enjoy romance and stuff happening in my fantasy, in my books. I love reading about that kind of stuff. But I do not want my book to be just an instant love connection and that's gonna make everything better. So we'll see. We'll see. I am interested to see like what exactly the story is gonna be. Like, is she gonna be taken to prison? Is she gonna be captured? Like what's gonna happen here? And is Cameron gonna have to start going against some of the people that maybe he's grown up and loved? I'm not really sure. But I need to see some changes for this to be like, right now we're sitting at a 3. So she needs to turn it around. She needs to turn it around. And that's my update so far on this Woven Kingdom. And it's just, it's such a stunning addition. Like, look at that. That's so pretty. But yeah, that's what's going on here. So fingers crossed this gets better. And I will update you guys either if I have like some crazy thought or maybe when I finish it, and we'll see how I feel. And I'll see you then. See ya. Hey guys, so I just wanted to update you that I finished this Woven Kingdom a few moments ago actually. I ended up getting the audiobook to finish it up just because I was so ready to be done with this book. I will say, right after the last update that I gave for this book, there was a little bit of a like plot twist that happened that I was like, oh, this might actually like really interest me in what's going on, and maybe the next update that I have will be a lot more exciting for everybody. However, we immediately went back to like ignoring that little drop that we had and just back into these 2 main characters who are like just so infatuated with each other. And I don't know, there's something about like it just felt very insta lovey in a way. And Cameron, the main guy, the prince, he treated everybody like just not great, or like just seemed very selfish to me. But like that was all we kind of saw. Like he was nice to the one kid, but like, was he though? And it just became this whole thing. I did like the last chapter, like the ending twist was good, which is why I ended up giving this book a 3-star. And it was like, I got through it like fairly quickly when I was reading it. Like it was easy to read and understand and digest. So I will pick up the second one because I own it and I am a little bit curious to see where it goes. But like, I just don't care about the romance between the 2 characters that I think we're supposed to care about. And it just felt like there was no real reason for them to like be connecting and in love other than the fact that he thinks she's really pretty and knows that like she's this lost queen. And it just felt like that was kind of the only thing pushing this plot along, was that she's this lost queen and he's supposed to want her dead, but he thinks she's so pretty and he's so into her because of that. That's kind of what it felt like to me. I don't know. I just felt like there wasn't really anything special about the characters. Like, even, I think her name is pronounced Eliza after I listened to the audiobook. I did look up pronunciations before I did the first clip, and it gave me a couple different pronunciations that could work for it, but the narrator pronounced it Eliza, so Eliza. Like, she was fine. She was very kind to people, which I like, and it was interesting, like, learning about her, but at the same time, she really just, I felt like, didn't really run into that many struggles. Not that she should be struggling, but we're supposed to be, like, feeling for her and wanting her to succeed and everything like that, and I just feel like, yes, she was a servant, but, like, she was becoming a seamstress in her free time and, like, being able to do these things, but I just felt like they really wanted us to, like, feel bad for the situation that she was in. But it seemed like the best situation for her to be in given the circumstances, so I just, like, overall felt like it wasn't as bad as we were maybe supposed to feel like it was. I don't know, maybe, like, that was just a me thing. I'm not saying she was not treated well. That's not what I'm saying. But it was just like, oh, this poor, beautiful girl is just, like, having the hardest life ever, when there are so many other people at the same time experiencing exactly what she's experiencing. She just has, like, this secret going on top of it. So that's just how I felt. I don't know if we were necessarily supposed to feel that way, but that's how I was, like, it felt to me like we were supposed to. So that was a whole thing. And yeah, Cameron just was pissing me off a little bit. Like, the whole time, his grandfather saying one thing, wanting him to do one thing, and he was like, oh yeah, I'll do that. And then he'd get there and he'd be like, she's so pretty though, and oh my god, how did I get into this situation? And I just felt like the dialogue between them was, like, it just felt a little bit off. So overall, didn't love this one. It was okay, that's why I gave it a 3. Kind of interested, like I said, with how the last chapter ended. I own the second one, so I'm gonna read it because I want to know. Maybe it gets better in the second one. The plot twist in this one had me interested for the next one, but I think this is just a duology. I don't think there's a third book coming out. I'll have to look into that, but I only have the 2 if there is a third one, so if I'm really not vibing with it, I'll probably just DNF the second one, but that's what's going on with this now. But because I finished this, we all know what time it is. It's time to open our next book to see what the next thing we will be reading for this vlog is. So I have book number 13 was next. 13. It does feel like a hardcover. I'm not sure. It kind of feels like it doesn't have a dust jacket, but I don't think I really have, like, many books that are hardcover that don't have a dust jacket, so I'm a little bit concerned about that. Okay, it's not a special edition, it doesn't look like. What is this? Okay, so it's happened. This is the first time that this has happened, folks. So, my sister did When Night Breaks. This is actually a sequel to Where Dreams Descend, which is a plot twist. So I'm gonna go grab that quickly. All right, I have it here. I'm actually so excited. So, a while ago, I was a part of Owlcrate, and I received this like a month or 2 before the book actually came out with the Owlcrate subscription, and I didn't read it, but I know, like, I don't think I've seen anybody not like this book, so that's something. So my sister ended up picking the sequel, When Night Breaks, so I'm gonna read Where Dreams Descend. If things are going really great and I'm loving it, maybe I'll pick up When Night Breaks right after it and vlog that as well. But keep in mind, I do have one more wrapped up book. I was not expecting this, but I'm very excited because this was one of my very first book box books. And I only have a couple from Owlcrate that I haven't read because I ended up canceling Owlcrate. Just because at the time they weren't doing like all of the sprayed edges and stuff yet, whereas Fairy Loot and Illumicrate were. So that's why I did that, but very excited to get into this. I know everybody loves this, and I think this is a circus book, and I love a good circus book. We all know that. Oh, I'm so excited. Yes. Thank you, Jess. Thank you. Okay, well, I will update you a little bit once I get into this. The back just says the stage is set, the spectacle awaits. So that has me super intrigued and excited. And I just cannot wait to see where we go with this book. I don't know if it's a duology or a trilogy, so I'll have to look that up. But overall, very, very excited. And I'll see you in a bit. Guys, I'm here with an update for you on Where Dreams Descend. If you don't remember from I mean, you guys just saw it, but for me, it's been a couple weeks now since I unwrapped the next book, which was the sequel to Where Dreams Descend. Guys, I hadn't read this yet, so I picked this up instead of the sequel. I might go right into the sequel when I'm done, and maybe I'll just update you on that as well. But, guys, this is a win. I'm not done yet. I'm, what, halfway through about? Yeah, I'm like 180 pages into this one. I think I'm probably like a little bit under halfway. But oh my god, I am loving this book, and I think I made a TikTok about it, but I think circus books, but especially if they have some kind of like competition type element like this and the Night Circus do, it's gonna work for me. I am loving this book so much, and I'm so happy to finally get around to it because this is from Owlcrate, I think in like 2019 or like the beginning of 2020 maybe. Somewhere around there is when I got this book, so it has been a long time that I've had this and just haven't touched it. So this is the entire point of having my sister pick books also, is because she has no frame of reference for when these books were acquired for me. So she's gonna pick things that she just thinks are cool, and I'm gonna end up reading books that I had forever and just haven't picked up. Not because I don't want to read them, but I just get my attention caught by something else. Anyway, in this book we follow Kalia, whatever, I call her Kalia. She is a magician, a born magician. In this world, you can be a born magician, which is like pretty rare. That doesn't really happen. Or you can acquire your magic, so you can, you know, learn your skills and everything like that. So we start the book with Kalia and just going through her day. She's in this like house with this guy named Jack and all of these other girls, and she's kind of like the favorite because she's the best. And she goes and spends time with Jack, and he teaches her kind of everything she knows about magic and how to like strengthen those skills. And then she performs in his nightclub every single night. But she overhears some of the people in the house discussing a competition of sorts in the neighboring town Glorian, which she has always wanted to go to, but Jack always tells her that it is too dangerous and she wouldn't last, and that she's not allowed to go, basically. But she really wants to go. She really wants to go. And when she hears that there's this competition for magicians, it like really re-sparks that. And Jack happens to be like having plans to go there, and she asks if she can go with him, and he's like, nah, no. So homegirl decides that she's gonna go, and maybe we learn some things. I'm not gonna get into it because spoilers, but things start happening. I mean, it's not a spoiler, right, that she gets to Glorian, because that happens like right away, but there are some things that are revealed when she's leaving to go there, okay? And then that brings us to our other POV, which is Darren. And he is another born magician who gave up being a magician, and we don't really know why. They keep alluding to something that happened between him and his assistant, and that's why he stopped, but like we don't know. we don't know what happened and what's going on, but basically he is a judge of the competition. And that's kind of all I'm going to tell you right now. We just started the competition and I'm having such a great time. It's such a fun book. I'm breezing through it and I just love it so much. So I may just pick up the second book right after and just be done the duology, but oh, it's so good. This is not talked about enough. This is not talked about enough. It's so good. I just love Kalia, guys. She's so sassy and like independent. She's like, I don't need you. And she just always has a comeback ready to go. The sass is real on this one and we love to see it. She's a badass, but she has every right to be because she's the best magician. I love her. I love her. I love her. Hi. Hey guys, weird angle, I know, but this is what we're working with because I had to update you. And it's super dark out right now. And I wanted to give a little bit of a different angle than my usual at my desk. So that's what we're doing here right now. I finished Where Dreams Descend. And I don't quite remember exactly what I said in the last clip. And I haven't exactly rated this yet. But I think this is going to be like a 4.5 or a 5-star. I feel like maybe a 5-star. It could be a 5-star, guys. The more I think about this book, the more blown away I am. I just really, really enjoyed the main character, all of the characters in this book. I felt like they all had a purpose and they all felt very different. And we were introduced to a ton of new characters throughout the entire story. And they all brought something new and exciting to the story, and there was a reason for them being there. If there's one thing that I hate, it's bringing in characters and like them being so bland, but you need them for a certain thing, so they have to be there. Like, make them all living, breathing characters and things in your story. Don't just plop them in because you'll need them down the line. So that was something that I loved. Overall, I loved the story. I figured, because I read The Night Circus in like November, December, I figured out that I absolutely love circus books first and foremost, but they also both featured like magicians in some kind of weird competition thing that we don't really like have all of the rules or information about. I love it. I eat it up. And this is obviously the first book. I had unwrapped the second book. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to proceed in reading the second book because the way that this ended with a crazy cliffhanger, I need to get into that next book, like stat. I need to know what happens. But I also do want to open the next book, book 3, right now because I can get started on that. So I'm definitely reading book 3 next, but I do kind of want to read the sequel like right away because I want to remember everything and all of the little intricacies that were mentioned in this. So that's what we're going to do because I wasn't quite sure. I wasn't sure how I was going to feel like once I finished this, if I was going to want to jump right into the second one or not, or if I was going to want to have like a palate cleanser. But I think I'm going to end up reading them both. And, you know, the next book you'll see me read is probably going to be the sequel. I'll probably edit the sequel before I edit whatever book 3 is together, footage-wise. Unless I'm not loving book 2. What if book 2 takes a turn and I don't like it? I don't know. I don't know. We'll have to see. There's not too much I can say because when I updated you originally, I was like, I think about 100 pages in, or maybe I was like more halfway, that kind of thing. So I was able to tell you more about the actual plot, but I don't want to give anything away. I will say that this had so many twists and turns that I didn't see coming. Maybe I should have, and I'm just not like that critical of a reader or pay that close attention. But I do run into books where I'm just like, this is what's going to happen, and I didn't have that with this. And that happened multiple times. multiple times. I was like, what? And especially with how it ended, and it's just like, I got chills reading the last couple sentences of this book. I'm so excited. I'm so excited to see where we go in the sequel, how we're gonna wrap it up. I can't believe, I think I've had this book on my shelf since like 2019, I think. When did this come out? Because I got it a couple months early in my Owl Crate. Okay, this was in 2020. So yeah, I think I got this in 2019, guys. Depending on when exactly in 2020 it was published. But I think so. One thing that I loved was the dedication of this book. It says, for the dreamers who rarely saw themselves in stories and on stages, you belong in the spotlight. Never let anyone tell you otherwise. I just thought that that was beautiful. And I loved all of the characters, and I loved how sassy Kalia was in this book. Being like the only female magician in a crowd of people, but especially male magicians or men of authority, just trying to put her down and knock her off her game, and she never once faltered. So we love her for that. We love her for everything that she has to offer, but especially that. So that is Where Dreams Descend. Absolutely love this book. Totally recommend it. I think it's a YA, but like, I don't think it really felt too YA. You know? Like when I'm thinking, because I'm not, I find that I'm liking YA a little bit less and less than maybe I would have before. And I'm finding myself kind of gravitating more towards adult books as opposed to YA. But I love a good YA that doesn't necessarily feel YA. Like, it's still written like an adult, but maybe it just doesn't have explicit scenes and stuff like that. I love that. And that is what this was giving me. So that's Where Dreams Descend. Now it is time for the last unwrapping officially of the video. I have no clue what it is. It's a hardcover, and it's kind of tall and thin. Like if we have Where Dreams Descend, oh, ignore everything I just said because they are the exact same height. But it doesn't feel like that when I hold them separately. I don't know why this one feels longer, but maybe it's just because it's thinner. I actually am not making any sense. So, oh, I love unwrapping them, but I also get so nervous. I was not expecting this. Post-traumatic. Wow, I think I can actually get through this pretty quickly. I don't know anything about this other than that it's a literary fiction. I was not expecting this at all. What a cool cover. This is Post-Traumatic by Chantel V. Johnson. Oh my goodness. I think this is a debut maybe. But I don't know. It doesn't say that it's a debut for her. Okay, so it's about a lawyer who advocates for mentally ill patients at a New York City psychiatric hospital. Nice, nice, nice. But it seems like she's going through maybe a lot more than meets the eye. So, I guess I will get started on this and then the sequel to Where Dreams Descend and get back to you. I'm actually really excited about this because I think it's going to break up the flow of the video a little bit with the other options. I feel like, what did I even read in this? I read that, but what were the two before that? I don't even remember, guys. That's horrible, but I just feel like it's been fantasy heavy, and I don't even think it has been. I think it was just Where Dreams Descend, but I'm so ready to get into this. I don't know when I would have gotten to this otherwise, so that's exactly what this is here for, and I think I'm actually going to be able to speed through this, which is super nice. So that's what is up next, and I will meet you back here, I guess, with an update. See you then. Hey guys, I am here to update you on Post-Traumatic by Chantel V. Johnson. So, I did not update you at all in my time reading this because I read this extremely quickly. It was a very, very quick book to get through. Even though, plot twist, this one did not work for me. I didn't like it. And I did think about DNFing it, but at the point that I was thinking about DNFing it, because I was just annoyed by the main character, I was pretty much like 70% of the way through. So I decided that I would not be doing that and would push through, because at that point I've already invested that much time and I'm gonna get through it quickly anyway, and then I can just add it to my total amount of books read. You feel me? You understand what I'm saying? I think you do. So with that being said, there was a lot about this book that didn't work for me and a tiny little bit that did. I hated the main character, and I do think that she was supposed to be unlikable, don't get me wrong. I think that that was the aim, and I love an unlikable character. I love an unlikable person. That's one of my favorite things to read about, is somebody making horrible decisions and things of that nature. However, this main character in particular, I felt like there were no redeeming qualities about her. I think that she felt so entitled to a lot of things because of her job, her dreams, her wishes, things like that. The thing that did work for me was the family dynamic that she discusses a lot of the time throughout this book. She has a very dysfunctional family, and she is grappling with whether or not to cut them off in a society that views family as being extremely important, even if they maybe don't treat you the best. So she was very much looking for validation on her thoughts and feelings for that, and I liked that aspect of the story, hearing her talk about that. However, it was extremely overshadowed by the other subplot, which was her need and view for male validation, and I'm fine with reading about that. I loved the book Acts of Desperation. I think Megan Nolan wrote that book. If you didn't like this one, maybe try Acts of Desperation if you like the idea of this, because that has another unlikable character who is obsessed with her boyfriend, and I just thought that it worked out a lot better. Vivian is the main character in Post Traumatic, and we just follow her while she like dates some people and compares and hates on every single woman she comes across other than like her best friend. And she even shits on her best friend. So like there's that. And then there's a bunch of stuff that like morally is just really fucked up. And again, I read Boy Parts. I loved Boy Parts. That's fucked up. And I still loved and enjoyed that. But some of the choices that she made in here, the way she went about things, the way she thought about and spoke about people, I don't know. It wasn't for me. But I think that people could like this. So I'm not going to say don't read it. It was written really well. I really liked the writing style of the author, so I would be interested to pick something else up by the author. Depending on what the story is going to be like, if it's going to be something along the lines of this, I probably wouldn't. But if it would take a different turn, I really enjoyed the writing. It was really quick and easy to get through, so that was a plus. But yeah, this one personally just didn't really work for me, which was upsetting because I had high hopes for this after reading Acts of Desperation, just because they felt like similar vibes to me. Like, story-wise, both covers are black and white, you know? They both have a woman on them. They both sound crazy. But yeah, Acts of Desperation worked. This one, not so much. So I ended up giving this one a 2.5. I gave it the 0.5 for the family dynamic that I really enjoyed out of the book. So there was that. It had that going for it, for sure. But that is Post Traumatic. I am finishing up, what is it called? When Night Breaks, I think is what the second book to Where Dreams Descend is. I'm finishing that up to add my thoughts for that into the vlog. I'll tell you a little bit about how I'm feeling about that now, I guess. But yeah, Post Traumatic, not for me. But pick it up if it sounds interesting to you. It could work for somebody. Put that back there. So When Night Breaks is the sequel to Where Dreams Descend, and I'm not going to go too much into like plot and stuff like that because spoilers for Where Dreams Descend heavily. But I gave Where Dreams Descend a 5-star. I really, really loved it, really enjoyed it. And I am absolutely loving the sequel as well. It feels like such a great continuation. If there's one thing that I hate, it's like a trilogy that feels like it should be a duology. I love a good duology, so I am very pleased that this only has 2 books, because this story that we're going on right now in the second book is wild following these characters. It was taking turns that I really had no idea it would or could take. So I'm really, really enjoying it so far, and things are looking up for that. And with that, I will end up showing you at the end, once I come back and update my feelings on When Night Breaks. I'll end up putting up like a little graphic over here to show you how my sister is doing at the end of this video. I'm gonna put, you know, all of the stats from the first video and the second video in to see where she's looking at, what kind of star rating situation is going on for the books that I've picked. And then I will start to work on the 3rd installment of this vlog series, but that's what's going on right now. And I guess I will see you back here once I finish When Night Breaks. See you then. Okay guys, so I have officially finished When Night Breaks. I just wanted to add this in here at the end because this is technically the book that I unwrapped, so I don't know if I'm going to put both of them, Where Dreams Descend and When Night Breaks, like on my little graph thing here at the end that I'm about to show you in a minute, just to show like how successful my sister is currently doing with this project. I think I probably will, because I technically unwrapped this one, but obviously I had to read the first one first. I really, really enjoyed this. I gave it 4.5 stars. Had a great time. I thought it was a wonderful continuation of the story that I loved and the characters that I loved from the first one, while introducing characters that I ended up really enjoying and loving, and like cool plot twists that I really enjoyed and loved. I think I said this in the last clip. I can't quite remember now because it's been a couple days, but I just really love a good duology. A lot of the time with trilogies and such, I feel like we just didn't need 3 books. I felt like maybe it would be a lot better suited as duology. And I very rarely often feel like a duology should be more than what we're given. So duologies just have that perfect like amount that you want from a story. Like, it's rare to find a good trilogy, you know what I'm saying? So I was looking forward to this, and it was a smash hit. I really loved it. I will say there were some editing issues with this one. That's never happened to me while like reading a book that wasn't independently published or something like that. But like there were multiple times where like a sentence would be written and then right below that would be another setup with that same sentence. So it was like, these are the 2 options, and they just didn't take one of them out. So that was a little bit weird because that happened more than once, okay? That did happen more than once. Not enough to really affect my enjoyment, but every single time it happened, it was enough to make me step back and be like, wait a minute. I just read that 2 sentences above. So it was like the same thing being, like the same point being made, but different setups that would end in the exact line that obviously the author wanted in there. So that's just something to be a little bit nitpicky about, but it didn't affect my enjoyment of the book at all. I loved how we wrapped it up. We were getting close to the end, and I was a little bit worried that we weren't gonna get like everything sorted that we needed to get sorted, but we did. And it was great. Not everything was just a perfect little happy ending, but I was very satisfied with the way that it ended and how our characters ended up. And yeah, I just think if you're into any kind of circus magician type situations, this is great. And I will say that there's a lot to do with mirrors in this book and the last one, but more so with this one because, yeah, spoilers, I'm not going to get into it. But mirrors play a really, really, really big part in this story. And I thought that was interesting because I've never read a book quite like it in that sense. I love reading fantasy type stories that have like their own twist on things, because a lot of the time fantasy tends to stick to, or YA fantasy I should say, not fantasy, but YA fantasy tends to stick to almost like a certain recipe. So the mirror aspect that was to play in this duology was great, and I had a great time. Super fun. It's not going to be like, oh my god, that's the best thing that I've ever read, but enjoyment level was a 10 out of 10. I really, really liked this one. So that was a 4.5, and that's that. Which brings us to the end of this episode of unwrapping books that my sister picked for me to read. I don't even know what I called it the first time, so it's gonna be something weird, just episode 2, right? I will put up a graphic here just to kind of show you where we are at for these 2 videos before we go into the third one, just to see like how my sister's doing. Like 5 stars to, obviously we haven't had 1 star or anything like that. I think the lowest yet that we had was the 2.5 with post-traumatic in this episode. But as you can see, she's doing quite well, so I am intrigued just to see what we will unwrap in the next episode of this. But we have Where Dreams Descend and Cemetery Boys there at the top. Cemetery Boys wasn't even technically in the first video. That was one that I had to unwrap ahead of time for my book club pick, but I counted it because she had chosen it to wrap up. So those were the top 2. She's got quite a few 4.5 stars though, which really brings that up. And that's When Night Breaks, How to Be Eaten, Fahrenheit 451, and The People in the Trees. Those were all quite high 4.5 stars too. I really, really enjoyed all of those. And then obviously we have How to Make Friends with the Dark at 4. And then a couple 3 stars in this video with Near the Bone and This Woven Kingdom. I will say I did read These Infinite Threads, which is the sequel to This Woven Kingdom. That was also a 3 star, but I'm not going to add it in here. And I'm currently in the middle of reading, I think it's called All This Twisted Glory or something like that. It's the 3rd book in that. And yeah, I'm thinking it's going to end up being a 3 star, and I'll probably DNF the series if it doesn't do something like really grand and change my mind. But that is where we are looking at with the books that my sister has chosen to wrap up for me. So with that being said, I will see you guys back here with me for the next episode, and I cannot wait to see what she will have me read next time. Bye guys.